follow-up to that as well, where is the Senate sanctions bill? I know that 2 days ago, Senator Thune said it's on hold. Have you heard differently?
I think that the announcement of sanctions yesterday against 2 Russian oil companies is certainly a step. It's an important step in the right direction, but it must be followed by additional action that imposes scorching sledgehammer sanctions on the purchasers of Russian oil and gas, Brazil, China, India, Hungary, and others, because that's the source of monetary fuel for Putin's war machine. I think that the trajectory here is very promising, and encouraged that the president is taking this action, and I hope it will be followed by the passage of the Graham-Blumenthal sanctions bill, because that ultimately is what Putin will understand. He understands only strength and force. Strength will bring peace because it'll force Putin to the table.
Senator, there's going to be a vote today that will pay essential federal workers, sponsored by Senator Ron Johnson. Do you expect that to pass at all? Do you think that's something that Democrats would be willing to vote for?
I strongly support pay for our military and other essential workers doing public safety or national defense. I want to do it in a way that avoids an open-ended grant of power to the president to decide who is essential. I think everybody who's essential ought to be paid, and so I will support legislation that provides that kind of compensation right away because they deserve it.
Senator, if I may ask you, what do you make of the Israeli parliament trying to pass this bill to annex the West Bank yesterday?
I think annexation of the West Bank is a very dangerous step. I've joined a letter to President Trump asking him to reaffirm that the United States would oppose annexation. It would be a significant impediment to Palestinian self-determination or self-governance in some form, including a 2-state solution. I realize that there's opposition in Israel to a 2-state solution as it's been discussed in the past, but annexation by Israel would be a significant obstacle to peace and stability long-term and the extension of the Abraham Accords.
Senator, your bill with Senator Graham, when would you expect that to eventually make it to the floor?
Now that there is no prospect of a meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin in Budapest or anywhere else, I'm hopeful President Trump will see that Putin is simply playing the United States for a fool, and that the Graham-Blumenthal bill imposing sledgehammer sanctions should be done now to bring Putin to the table and stopping the fueling of his war machine. I'm very hopeful that Senator Thune now will decide that he has a green light to go ahead with this bill within weeks, not months, because we're at a really important historic inflection point. There's an opportunity now that should be seized, and that is to impose sanctions on the purchasers of Russian oil and gas to stop Putin in his economic tracks. And the only way to do it is to force him to come to the table by strangling his economy. It's already teetering, but we need to apply a sledgehammer, which is the Graham-Blumenthal bill, right away. I'm hopeful within weeks it will come to the floor.
And lastly, can I just ask you about your committee's work? You're trying to appoint 3 more judges to the D.C. Superior Court. Why is that important? And I know that D.C. has a shortage of judges right now as well. So is it important to get more of these judges through?
As a litigator, I know that justice delayed is justice denied, and the shortage of judges means that justice is delayed. When there is a shortage of judges, there are delays in considering cases, either trying them or settling it. So I think that these 3 judges are potentially meeting that shortage, and that's why I'm going to seriously consider their credentials.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Senator.
Appreciate it.